guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Erin and I do mostly budgeting videos like the one you're about to see here. By tuning in. If you are new here and you enjoy budgeting videos that use real numbers and check in on paydays and all that fun organizational stuff when it comes to financial health, this may be a channel that you enjoy. So I would love if you stuck around and subscribed. And for those of you who are regulars, thank you so much for always popping back in. Okay, so today we're going to be doing variable expenses, and I wanted to explain to you where's the money coming from. And that was something that I really didn't explain very well in my last two videos, so I'm going to show that to you now. I have my budget planner right over here off camera. I'm having all kinds of difficulties. This is my tool notebook cover. You guys have seen that a million times. I did get a new calculator, and while I don't feel like it's as bright as I would like it to be, it's not backlit. It's still a little bit easier to use than the one I had. The one I had is like turned downward. I don't know. It's just an awkward calculator to use. I'm not going to get rid of it, but I think I'm going to go stash it in a different desk. All right, so let's just go back to the beginning of the month so I can kind of explain to you what's going on here, and then we can just get right into the cash stuffing. So if you don't want the explanation, you can fast forward it to the cash stuffing, but I like to always give you guys a little bit of background detail so you know and understand what's going on. So on July 1st, we had 3 paydays come in. My husband's retirement, which is at a reduced rate for life. You guys know the drill with that. My first paycheck of the month, I'm getting 3 this month. I do get paid every other week, so twice a year. I do get that extra pay, that third pay, which is really nice. And then his commissions from June totaled this after his base pays were removed from that. All right, so we ended up with 68,1865, and then here were the variables for this week. I just put them right on the same sheet, and then what we did from there, let me further explain. I went on the flip side, which these are my own printables. You can get them in Etsy. There's still a link for the June budget kit down below. If you're interested and you haven't gotten your hands on that, you can print that out yourself if you would like to. For June 8th through the 15th, I was pulling from the exact same pay because this was the largest pay of the month. We had the extra and the ability to pull from there. So this is what our variables look like for that week. It was actually lower than the week before. The first week of the month was $755, and then the second week was $500. For the third week, we had more income coming in because, like I said, we do get paid at different times during the month. We had my second paycheck of the month, and then we had my husband's first base pay. So he gets 2 of these a month, and then at the end of the month, before they figure out his final commissions, they end up going ahead and subtracting this from his commission. So he doesn't get paid this twice. So we ended up with $22.62, and this is on July 15th. So here we are, fast forward yet another week. I had done our variables right down here, and what I did with this particular payday, this $22.62, is I took this down to 0 and minus. So we had 810 in variables going out. I had to put money aside for our highest water bill I hope that we ever have, and it was because we had to fill up the pool. And then my savings challenge came out of here, and the rest of it got put toward this landscaping expense, and then I had to take an additional $650 out of our renovation money. So this got brought down to 0. All right, so we are on the 4th week, and I don't even have a sheet. I need to get a new sheet out. But so for the 4th week of the month, we're going to be pulling from this pay again. Now, this was all in my bank account, kind of hanging out there. I didn't have to do anything really special to access that money or wait for it to come in. It was just there. And one thing I can say, ever since I did pay down, since we paid down our huge debts and credit card debt and loans and all that, I can say that I am much more disciplined and comfortable with leaving money hanging out in the bank that hasn't yet been allocated, because I know that I will get there and I can trust myself not to blow it. So I feel really good about that, and I feel like it took a lot of growth in my life to get to this point. But here we are, and I feel like I've made a lot of progress. So for those of you who are struggling perhaps with a lot of debt, or you're not sure, you know, how am I ever going to pay this off? You know, it's too much. Just know I was there several times. Our last major debt that we paid off was more than $36,000. So that was a combination of home improvement and also credit card debt. That did not include over $10,000 in student loans that we had. So if you add that in, you know, we were close to pushing $50,000, and that was in 2018. So the way we got out of it was, there was many steps and ways that we had to get out of this situation. And I'm proud to say that once we finally did, and we also faced my husband getting laid off. So I'm going to write pay number 1 here, and then week 1. So you guys know where this is coming from for my variables this week. But anyways, so we were also facing him getting laid off from his job of almost 27 years and all of the nonsense that came with it. We did Grubhub. He took on extra jobs, you know, making money on the side. You know, there was so much that we had to do to generate more income. And then when the stimulus money came, we used that to get a month ahead in our bills. And what else did we do? We just did a ton of different things. We were between a rock and a hard place with a lot of it, and we had to figure a way out. We had to dig our way out of it. And finally we did. And I'm actually looking for my notes here. Finally we did. And then last year, I ended up paying off my student loans, which was just around $10,000. And right after I did that, there was some forgiveness for people who worked for our state, and I could have qualified for that. And I missed out on it. I had paid them off the month before. Now, I have 2 feelings about that. Number 1, I'm glad that I paid off my debt. You know, it was my debt. It was mine that I generated, that I carried, that I let get out of hand over the years. But at the same time, I really wish that I could have saved on that money, because there's many different things I would have done with that money had I still had that in our account. But what's done is done, and it's, you know, things work out the way they're supposed to. But I tell you all this while I'm organizing this money so we can cash stuff. I tell you all this just so you know that you're not alone. And I think that the majority of people face serious debt or, you know, hardships, financial hardships at some point in their lives. And there is a way out, so just don't give up. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to have some private videos. I don't know how I'm going to access them, but some private videos, like a safe space for us to talk about it, because I may not have the solution for you, but I can definitely give you some advice and some encouragement. I am not a financial planner, but I do feel like life experience and my own mistakes have given me a lot of tools to work with moving forward in a positive way in the future. So if you think you'd be interested in that, you have some ideas on how I could do that. I mean, I know I can do a Patreon. I don't want to gouge people whatsoever, but it's just something that has been on my heart. And I think that sometimes we just need a friend, a support system to tell us, hey, I've been there. I know what it is. I can tell you that, you know, this is not the end of the world, and, you know, encourage you, kind of be like your cheering section, because sometimes it's easier for us to talk to strangers and actually get their advice about, you know, what to do and how to move forward, and maybe some advice on some steps to take, than it is talking to the people who are closest to us, because we don't want to be that vulnerable or have people, you know, understand what exactly we're going through. So, I mean, I get it. Anyways, all right, let's get on to the cash stuffing. We're about 9 minutes and 15 seconds. I'll put that down below just in case anybody's like, you talk too much, because I do get that. All right, so last week we had $150, I believe, in groceries. I had $7 and change left, and this is the 5 they gave me, and they don't know me. So there is no way that they could have known that this particular bill would damage me the way that it did when it got handed to me, because I'm like, oh no. Like I I am so funny about bills facing the right direction. And when I saw this ripped one, like I didn't want to draw attention to myself and be like, I'm nuts. So please give me a different bill, because nobody has time for that. But I was like, oh my gosh, no. But anyways, all right, so I had some change too, and I already put that in my change jar, and I have these extra ones, and I'm just gonna put those aside. But I am gonna use this $5 toward my variable expenses this week, because I'm gonna get rid of it. This $5 needs to flee the coop. I am not holding on to it. So it is actually part of my stuffing this week. All right. So let's get into what we should have on my brand new pink calculator that you still can't see. So I don't know how this was a fix, but it was very cheap. So, and it's cute. All right. So we had $150 for groceries, $120 for gas. Health is $15. That's for a copay for a doctor's visit. $190 on American Express. You guys aren't used to seeing American Express. I told you that sometimes I do go and search NerdWallet or Credit Karma for really good deals on credit cards, and I am loyal to Discover to the end. I earn my cash back on that, but American Express had a great deal where if I spent X amount of dollars in the first 3 months, that I would get, I think it's either $200 or $300 in a cash back bonus, and I'm like, I cannot afford not to have American Express give me a payday. So that's what we are doing. So we're going to be using that for a while. Those are for my incidental expenses, $75 for dining out and $50 for miscellaneous. That gives us a total of $600. So when I do use a credit card, and I've preached this to no end, I love Dave Ramsey. I love following his cash envelope system, his baby steps. I wholeheartedly believe in his philosophies, and also just his words of encouragement. I just think he's amazing. However, I do not subscribe to his philosophy about using credit cards, because I think for the average person, if you can get a hold of your credit card spending, that it's okay. It's okay. So if you know that you are disciplined enough to actually spend the money and then pay it off by the end of the month, or make micro payments throughout the month, then I say do it. Why not have the credit card companies work for you for a while? So you've got $150 that's going into our grocery envelope. This is my Moterm. I love it so much. It's a really well-made, well-crafted wallet. The only thing is, I don't really like folding the bills. At first I was like, yeah, that doesn't bother me. I don't mind folding the money. But honestly, I prefer a system like this where the wallet is bigger and the bills are nice and flat and like laid out. And there's something about the clear system that I love. I don't know. I just love a clear binder. But anyways, we've got $150 in groceries. So for gas, our gas is coming down a little bit. All right, I had to redo that because I had everything out of order. So what I need to do is put 2 50s and 2 10s. That's where I'm making the mistake. So when I put 2 50s and 2 10s, he can have 60 and I can have 60. That way we don't fill up at the same time, and this will be the best way to divide it. So gas is stuffed. All right, so for health, like I said, it's a copay, so it's actually for a doctor's visit. So it is $15. So I need to pull a 10, and I'm going to give them this 5, and they're going to love it. I don't know. They'll probably hate it too. But anyways, for health, I just put in $15. All right, and then for American Express, $190. So we have $100, $150, $160, $170, $180, $190. So I'm going to pay that off. And like I said, I'm going to be using American Express for a few months. I still don't have a small envelope for my credit card, and I keep forgetting that. I'm going to have to put it in miscellaneous, even though I have more money to go in there. But anyways, so I'm switching from American Express, from Discover to American Express for a while. So for dining out, $50, $60, $70, $75. And that might seem like a lot to you guys, but it's just my husband and I most of the time, and we like to go out, and we don't do it a lot, but a couple times a week. And then miscellaneous, I have 50, so I need to put that back in there too. All right, so that is $600 in cash stuffing. And then I close up my little Moterm, and then this is just little paper clip. Somebody asked me about that. I don't know where I got it. I think it was like in a pack from like Michael's or something like that. maybe Hobby Lobby, but you guys know. But anyways, so this is going in my purse. My new week always starts on Saturday, I believe. Is that how I'm doing it? Or do I do it on Friday? Friday, I don't know. I have to look back. I'm so confused this week. I don't know. But anyways, all right. So this is going to be the week of July, 22nd through 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th, 28th. All right, so there we go. And then we have a second to highlight all that. And I've been highlighting recently every time I finish a module of my budget on a worksheet. I like to highlight it just to show, okay, this is already figured out. And I'm gonna write $600 up here just to reiterate, minus 600, and we're done. So the other things that I need to do to wrap up this month a bit is to finally stuff the rest of my bills for August, and I also need to stuff my envelopes for my subscriptions. Now, I have decided to go to an envelope system for my subscriptions because I think for me personally, they're getting a little bit out of hand. And so I want to actually be able to see them in front of me tangibly, look through them and see just the sheer volume of what I'm subscribing unnecessarily to. My subscriptions for the most part are just purely entertainment with the exception of our home warranty. So I want to make sure that I'm keeping track of that. And honestly, I don't even think our home warranty is doing us any favors, but we have it and I'm kind of scared to get rid of it at this point because I feel like as soon as we get rid of it, something's going to happen. So we have to rethink that together, my husband and I. But anyways, so here we are, and I'm going to be back with a video on my fixed expenses, wrapping that up. At first I was like, I think I'm gonna have to pull out the rest of August bills from my sinking funds and then I'll have to reimburse them when I get paid at the end of the month. But then I realized, no, you don't, because you got paid plenty of money at the beginning of the month. And I wasn't thinking to myself that I had all this extra because we also have this extra payday and everything is fine. So I had plenty of money in the bank to do the rest of August's bills. So I'm going to be back very soon with that. Oh, I have a stray hair here. All right, and so that is my wrap up. So I hope that it wasn't too confusing for you. I know that was a lot. And then of course, as usual in every video, I have to pause somewhere in between because I think I have miscounted and it turns out everything is fine. But yeah, so anyways, thank you so much, guys. I really, really appreciate you. And I want you to know that I hope you're doing well. Leave me a comment down below and let me know how you're doing. Let me know if you have any thoughts about these kind of like safe space videos where we can talk about our experiences and any type of financial strife we're going through, because that could be me again. And it just could, you know, it could happen to anybody at any time. You never know when, you know, you could be doing everything right and a massive unexpected expense could throw you completely off kilter. So we're all in it together. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching again, and I'll see you in my next video.